I'm Olivia.
I'm Frankie.
And we're the 2018 Children's Tumor Foundation Ambassadors.
Like, we all have NF and we're all in this together. Olivia looks out for him. She doesn't let anybody mess with her brother. They are great together. She loves him.
When other people stare at Frankie, I usually just say, hey, it's not nice to stare. Frankie and I's experience is definitely different. We both have the same type of NF, but like, I don't get stared at walking down the street.
Got teased, like, that wasn't funny. I was not happy.
The roles are a little bit reversed. She's more like the big sister just because she's more adult-like than he is, and they're both okay with their roles and they've adapted. She gets to be the big sister even though they're, years apart.
It was just normal for me. Like, I just kind of assumed that everybody had someone with special needs in their family, but like when I actually learned about it, I was at the age and it was just kind of like, oh, I'm different. One of the things that I do with CTF is I go to camp in Salt Lake City every year, the NF Camp Costopolis, the Dream Foundation.
Having a place where those kids can go and be around other kids with NF, it's great. They're included and they're having fun and they're going to amusement parks and water parks, and I wish they would have been around when I was a kid. I found out Frankie had NF pretty close, like probably his first checkup. He had the 6 cafe au lait spots.
I had NF since I was like, since kindergarten, preschool. Gonna be 23 next year.
He looked fine and everything when he was born, but he started having seizures around 5 months. It was pretty devastating, but it was rough, for sure. So his optic glioma turned into a plexi, and it was growing where you couldn't see it, and then it got too big. And it eroded part of his skull, and it caused glaucoma, so we had his eye removed when he was 4, like days before Olivia was born.
I've had like 6, 7 surgeries. It's not that easy to have NF. It's like, it's not that easy. My friend, he just doesn't understand about NF. It's hard for them to see. Pretty sure other people don't understand.
He has struggled a lot more with his NF than me or Olivia. They said he would never walk or talk when he was a baby, and he's walking and talking. Frankie's just kind of amazing.
I graduated high school in 2014, and I was like, there were like 800, 900 people.
Here he is, and he's, cracks jokes and watches TV and is funny and is happy. He's had some major stuff happen, and he's just like, okay, what next?
When looking at me, you can't tell that I have NF, but like, I can always like kind of feel it like walking weird or like just stepping wrong, and then I can like feel something shoot up like in pain through my body. A lot of kids with NF always are like kind of behind or like are on IEP or like 504 plan. I am one of them. It never like really bothered me or like really that affected until like I got older and like I had to have more serious surgeries. I have had about like 5 or 6 surgeries altogether. Like, I'm about to have another one like for my sternum. I have this thing called pectus excavatum, so like my sternum is caved in and it's like crushing my heart, my lungs. Like 3 of my 4 heart valves are pumping right, and my lungs are so like compact and like crushed that it forces the blood back into my heart.
Olivia's incredible, and she's strong and deals with life kind of like she's already been on the planet for a long time. Like, when you meet her, she's the old soul.
I've been learning Japanese since I was 5, so I hope I'm fluent. I mean, watashi wa ima 1218年子供の Tumor Foundation の ambassador になります。I feel like it's gonna be really cool to be up there with my brother, especially because like he's super cool. Like, he's a super funny guy. I've wrote about like 4 speeches now, and I'm always like, I have to write the best one. This one is too emotional. This one's too sciencey. I have to like get it right. Seeing Frankie just be happy and like come home every day like laughing, smiling, that gives me hope, because even though he's struggling with so much, he can still be happy. People who like donate, people who like ask questions trying to learn about it, that gives me hope. Like science, like how science is evolving, just like small little things of like getting like little bit by bit steps closer, that gives me hope, because I feel like little things make a big difference in the end.
Potatoes are all ready to go. Good sweet potatoes.
Oh my God, wait, stop, wait. I was putting them in there. I'm 17 years old. In a day in the life, I'll probably be waking up around 5:30 to go to the gym, and then coming back home around 7-ish and getting ready for school.
I'm very impressed because we're the parents, but Corinne is a perfectionist. She wakes herself up, she makes herself breakfast, she goes to the gym. I really don't know where that comes from, so it must be from her dad.
Everyday life at the office is very fortunate, and we feel that because we've been so fortunate that we're happy to be able to share with others some of our good fortune.
Life at home with my mom and dad, it's pretty normal. I come home from school, my mom and I cook dinner, and that's always so much fun because I love being creative in the kitchen. I don't necessarily like to follow a cookbook. I like to kind of come up with my own recipes. And
Corinne is a very easy child. She loves to bring us together as a family, love to cook together. Corinne is a great companion. She never really gets mad, and that's really important for a mother and a daughter.
Like I knew I had something, and my mom would always say like special, like you're so special, and like you have all these beauty marks. And then my mom would always call my birthmark cafe au lait spots, and like I drank coffee milk as a child, so I'd be like, yeah, like the coffee, you know, I had that on my body. My parents definitely treat me like a normal kid. Like I grew up with my brother. We were always treated the same. Like I never even really knew that I had. Like, I knew I had neurofibromatosis, but I didn't really know what it meant. So I just, you know, I was always treated normally.
Corinne learned at an early age, first grade, that things just didn't come easy for her. When her friends could read a story once and go out and play, she'd have to read the story 7 times. And so she just learned that from first grade. If she wanted to be at the top of her class, she really needed to work hard.
Corinne was born with NF Ray. Began quickly on a crusade, trying to help fight this incurable disease.
Like the last few years, like when getting like my migraines and stuff, that gets a little frustrating. But it's something that like everyone has their own thing they have to cope with, and I guess that's just mine that I have to battle. I'm proud to be ambassador because of all the hard work that the foundation is doing and all the volunteers that are working to end NF, and I'm just so glad that I get to be a small part of it.
So after we found out that Corinne had NF at 6 weeks old, I started doing as much research as I could for the NF local chapters. Then I went to the national level and found CTF, which I absolutely loved everyone in the staff there, and had an immediate bond. And our life today, and has been for the last 17 years, is trying to find a cure for NF. To find a cure, we need to have more research, and so that's why we put out there the $2.5 million match. We wanted to have the best researchers and the doctors in the world help us find a cure, and the only way to do that is with money and love and compassion.
When I was in school, And playing football and studying, you learn pretty early on that you can do a lot more than you think you can. You just have to set your mind to see.
I know that they, meaning my sister and my parents, have been very passionate about for a long time. And I think it's just the fruits of their labor taking root now.
Our life has been very blessed because we've always seen a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's never turned out to be a freight train. We're very fortunate that we have kids that can have the benefit of the good fortune they've had and still be humble about it.
We're so honored to accept the humanitarian award. We were almost blessed to have NF in our family so we could meet so many new people and friends and family and work together as one to find a cure for NF.
He said, "Oh, hold on, Anna, I have to put the phone on my good ear." So I said, what do you mean your good ear? He said, well, my other ear doesn't work. I took him to an ENT, a local ENT, and they said, oh, it's probably allergies. They put him on different allergy medications on and off. The second ENT said, he seems to have nerve damage. I think his hearing nerve is damaged. And he said to me on the phone, he said, being that he has this meningioma, there's a very high probability that this is neurofibromatosis type 2. You know, life as we knew it was completely changed. Oh, you know, you need to take him out of karate, no contact sports, no trampolines, no roller coasters. I don't like roller coasters. I never been on a roller coaster. I never liked them, and I certainly feel like that's how our life is, more like a roller coaster. He's like, I have big dreams and I have plans, and is this going to keep interrupting my life? Are these tumors going to keep growing and keep, you know, interrupting my life? And I, you know, sadly, that's exactly what NF does. He just really inspires everybody with the positive attitude he has and the determination to not let this ever stop him from doing anything that he wants to do.
That's the way you have to handle everything, because if you're sitting here in a hospital depressed and everything, it just makes everything harder to go through. Like, you may as well have fun with it if you can.
Bailey's like, no, you can't turn it off, Dad. And my husband's like, just till you fix it. So my husband tapped it, and Bailey started going like this in the bed, like, and my husband almost hit the floor. He just he pretended, and like so quick. He's just very quick with it. Like he was just, like, pretending he was having a seizure or something in the bed. My husband's heart, like, he needed the heart monitor at that stage. He loves science, he loves engineering. I mean, he likes to go bike riding, he hangs out with his friends. He loves the Yankees and baseball and going to games with his sister. He loves even just like, going to the car racing events in Daytona and keeping in touch with the race car drivers. We have to wait and we have to watch for it to grow, because if it grows, he could be completely deaf. And that's the importance of the Gala, is to get research money so these kids don't have to sit every 6 months and wonder if their tumor's going to grow and they're going to be deaf, or they're going to, not be able to move one side of their body, or they're going to have to get their leg amputated. And my son never speaks about, how it feels, but to live, no, and like doctors have told him, you could wake up one morning and just be deaf. Or to have a child sit in an office and hear, oh, well, if it grows again, we're going to have to amputate your leg.
My goal is to really raise awareness and to let the people that aren't involved with the NF community know how important they are to the NF community and how much of a difference they can make. They're the ones that have the biggest effect on my life and the lives of everyone else with NF.
Good evening, New York. How we doing, everybody? My name is Jonathan Sadowski, and I am thrilled to be here yet again as your host. Thank you for joining us tonight at the Children's Tumor Foundation's 45th Anniversary National Gala, live from New York City's Gotham Hall and around the world through our live stream. And I am pleased to let everyone here know that, and watching at home, that our program is being live captioned for those who need it. It is amazing that we are marking 45 years of CTF's work in funding research for NF. We have so much to celebrate tonight, from the research advances being made to our NF patients, to the clinicians and researchers working tirelessly for our patients and families, and to all of you in the room watching tonight, supporting the organization's efforts to end NF. Tonight is not just about our 45 years of the past, but about our immediate future and our ability to speed up the clinical process of bringing new drugs to our patients with NF. We don't want to be here for another 45 years. I love the foundation, but we don't want to be here for another 45 years. We want cures. We want to end NF. We want to close CTF's doors so no one else ever has to be diagnosed with NF ever again. But to do that, it takes all of us coming together to raise the funding we need to find those treatments and cures for our patients. It is our time to fly. Now, I'd like to personally recognize some of our remarkable champions who embody CTF's vision of ending NF and are helping CTF take flight. They have worked tirelessly for our collective vision, and we have the great honor of celebrating them here tonight. Humanitarians Michelle and Mark Oppenheimer, along with Jim Toms and the Toms family, our national ambassador, Kevin Martin, our cloud carrier, the Gilbert Family Foundation, in honor of Nick Gilbert. Now, of course, we are all here together to raise money to further the Foundation's mission of advancing research, expanding knowledge, and improving the quality of life for our patients living with NF. And I can tell from the energy here tonight, we are going to not only meet, but we will surpass our fundraising goal, which is, are we ready for it? $2 million tonight. Now, because of our NF community, because our entire NF community is not able to join us in person, we are delighted to have so many of them from across the country joining us tonight via live stream. So hello to all of you watching around the world. We wish we could see you all, but we are here with you and we love you. I've said this many times, I am so personally touched to be here with everyone once again and to raise as much money as possible to fulfill our vision of ending NF, a mission that is personal to each and every person in this room. So let's get started on that $2 million. And here is how each one of you can make a donation. All you need to do is text END-NF to 24365. You can also go to ctf.org/gala, or the old-fashioned way, dial 1-800-323-7938. That information should be on everyone's screen right now, but just in case, let me repeat that. It's text END-NF, that's END-NF, to 24365. Go to ctf.org/gala, or call 1-800-323-7938. There are people standing by right now to take your call. So tonight, we also want to acknowledge a very special birthday, Zoe Suna. She's turning 32 tonight, and she decided to celebrate with 400 of her closest friends. So let's all give her a big round of applause for her birthday. So one quick note before we dive in, the programs you picked up at the check-in will also be your bid paddle for the research auction. So if you lost yours during cocktails, which is totally acceptable, please raise your hand and we'll get you a replacement right away. Now, to get started, we're going to hear from some of the amazing visionaries who started CTF and recognize the progress we've made over the past 45 years. Let's take a look.
I'm Annette Bakker. I'm the president of the Children's Tumor Foundation for the past decade, and I'm really proud to lead this amazing team, advancing treatments for patients with neurofibromatosis and schwannomatosis.
My name is Ken Rudd. I have NF1, and I'm on the board of directors of the Children's Tumor Foundation. I was here and around the foundation since shortly after it was founded in 1978. My neurologist was Alan Rubenstein.
I'm Alan Rubenstein. I am a clinical professor of neurology and pediatrics at NYU Medical Center. I was the founder of CTF 45 years ago. I originally thought NF would be an opportune disorder for what was a relatively new area, molecular genetics. I then discovered how much of a need there was for somebody to really provide some sort of coordinated care. I was approached by a young nurse, Lynn Cordemanch, one of the first people I saw with NF, and she asked me why wasn't there a foundation for people with this disorder, and I said, why don't you start one? So she did, and we had an opportunity to work closely together with Joel Hirschtritt and develop a whole new organization devoted to people with NF.
Both my parents got involved very early on and were sort of very committed to the organization. It's been a part of my life forever.
A lot of the early research funding was focused on finding the genes.
I remember when I was in college in 1990 and the gene was first cloned and identified, and it was big news.
Finding the gene for NF became a front page story for the New York Times.
And then after that discovery, of course, once you have the cause, once you have the gene, now starts the real biology.
In the past 10 years, I think the progress that CTF has made has been quite remarkable. We've been instrumental in getting the first drug approved by the FDA and worked very hard together to drive the research, improve clinical understanding of the disease and treatment options for patients. Encouraging and helping researchers and investigators share their data, both good and bad, can only benefit those of us with NF.
What we're really trying to do next is to accelerate clinical trials, bringing drugs that are clinical trial ready, and then really educating and empowering our community, both healthcare professionals and patients. The time is now. We are ready to expand and to accelerate.
The time is now because there is so much interest on the part of the pharmaceutical industry and biotech companies.
There has been remarkable progress in understanding the forms of NF up until now. But the time is now for us to continue the research.
That first 45 years, the donor community that is invested there has brought us to that point where we are now, where we can say, okay, here we are. We have all that information that we can translate into treatments for patients. The time is now, and the future for patients with NF looks so much brighter.
And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce a dear friend and someone who I have gotten to know over the last few years. She is fearless, inspirational, and works around the clock, literally, towards the goal of ending NF for everyone. It's her perseverance, determination, and relentlessness over the last 12 years that have gotten us to where we are today. And as we celebrate 45 years and the future of the foundation, you just heard her inspiring words in the video. Please welcome to the stage my dear friend and the president of the Children's Tumor Foundation, Annette Bacher.
Good evening, my beloved NF community, or should I say, good evening, my NF family. Before I say anything, I really would like to thank the amazing Gala co-chairs who have made this evening a success. Liz, Tila, Clara, Erica. Exactly. As well as my friend Jonathan for emceeing year over year. Thanks, Jonathan. And also especially these fantastic people that you heard about in the video, Alan, Joel Hirschrift, and Lynn Kortmarch, who started this foundation 45 years ago. And also, as you heard from Ken, his mom, Joanne Engel, was one of the first presidents of the foundation. And I can tell you that I'm really honored to stand here in front of you as one of the next presidents. Every year, when I think about the Gala, when I come to the Gala, I am sad, but hopeful. Sad about the NF heroes or family members we have lost this year, but hopeful about the absolute amazing progress we are making. At the 40th anniversary Gala, for those of you who were here, I promised that there were some breakthroughs coming, and we delivered. Today, we have one drug approved for NF, and we have many, many clinical trials that are happening. The time As I said in the video, the science is ready. The time is now. We are in treatment era. We are ready. The other day, I received a letter from Lily, a young girl who was inspired by what CTF is doing. And she has a brother who suffers from NF. And she wrote in her letter, "Do you think that there ever would be a treatment for my brother?" Dear Lily, the answer is yes. Yes, because we have that one drug approved. Yes, because we have 67 clinical trials, 67 chances to win again. And wait, it gets better. 2 of those drugs are actually entering phase 3. What does that mean? What does phase 3 mean, I hear you think? What is she talking about? So in clinical trials, there are 3 phases. Phase 1 is the drug safe? If yes, you go to phase 2. Does the drug work on a small group of patients? And then you go to phase 3. Does the drug work on a larger group of patients? And if the answer to that is yes, you go to the FDA. And you may get another win, another drug approval. And 2 of those are in this phase now. We are also investing in NF2, and we're building a gene therapy, gene delivery company. That is what I mean when I say the science is ready, the time is now. CTF and all our friend founders are investing in getting treatments to the market. Today, we don't have the money to invest in every promising treatment. I wish. But what CTF has been doing is we've built systems. We have built machines. We're building supermarkets for pharmaceutical companies to make it as easy as possible for pharmaceutical companies to work on NF. Because we want every company that has a potential drug for NF to work on NF. We started with 0 companies working on NF. Today, we have 10. But we need way more companies because drug discovery and drug development is hard. Today, CTF is recognized as a leader in nonprofit. We are a mentor of the Chan Zuckerberg initiative. Yes, Zuckerberg from Zuckerberg. We are a change maker at Faster Cures from the Milken Institute because we have been developing a model that other foundations are looking at to copy for their rare diseases. What is next? We will continue to work together with our friends from NTAP, Cheshire Blakely, and our friends from the Gilbert Family Foundation. We had a lovely meeting with Laura today, in order to end NF forever and for all forms of NF. And we will make sure that CTF closes their doors. But we still need the investments. Why do we need the investments? Because now we have the machines that will bring drugs to the patients and the machine that will bring drugs in the patients. But now what we need to do is we need to show the pharmaceutical industry that we are the place where this is going to happen. So what we need now is we still need investments for us, of course, for our patient community, for all the families that are suffering from NF, to make sure that the companies are really, that it becomes so easy, for companies to work on this disorder, that every company will choose NF out of the other 7,000 rare diseases. This is what we want in order to win. And we will only win together, because every single person in this room is hopefully part of the winning team. Talking about the winning team, it is my absolute pleasure now to introduce Mark Oppenheimer and Michelle Oppenheimer, who are the first humanitarian award winners of the night. I first met Mark a few months ago when his daughter was diagnosed with NF. Since then, he has been unstoppable in his pursuit to help end NF. As a new board member, he brought a multitude of new to the foundation. Energy with a big E. He also brought connections, and I really want to deeply thank the 30 CHROs that are here with us tonight from very many different companies. Yes. Michelle and Mark are relentless with a big R to end NF. Please welcome Michelle and Mark Oppenheimer.
This time last year, we had never heard the term neurofibromatosis. Our daughter Riley was diagnosed with NF1 3 days before our son Archer was born. Since we found out about the diagnosis, we've been able to proactively monitor for symptoms, which now also include a tumor on her left optic nerve. However, we are filled with gratitude. We are so grateful for the NF-specific care that we have received from Dr. Wolf at the Children's Hospital of Atlanta and Dr. Fisher and Dr. Avery from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. These connections were made possible through the support from CTF. Being new parents in the community, CTF has embraced us. We have been so blessed. Thank you to Annette and the CTF staff who worked tirelessly to make this happen. Thank you to the phenomenal board members who give their time and resources to further us towards treatments and ultimately a cure, especially my husband, Mark, who has really jumped in, both feet forward, giving a lot of time and resources to do everything he can to get to that goal. Thank you to our business community, including several senior executives who are here with us tonight in support of a cause. And thank you to our colleagues at Modern. Without their efforts, we would not be able to make this type of an impact. However, there is still a lot to be done.
Since Riley, our daughter, was diagnosed with NF, it has been difficult. We've really been faced with the excruciating realization that it's something we can't run from, something we can't hide from. The most difficult thing is the fact there's really been no path. As you all know, there's no real way out of it. You just have to work out a way to get through it. The first thing that I just wanted to do was I just wanted to say, every NF parent out there, I appreciate everything that you guys do for your kids, and you guys are amazing. It is one of the toughest jobs in the world, and you're not alone, right? We are here together, and together we can get through this, and we will find a cure. I believe there's a gift in everything. The problem is most people don't really look for the gift until it's 20 years later, and then it hits them in the face. We have an opportunity to see a gift in front of us today. And the gift is for our children. You guys, we are the gifts. Those children were going to come from somewhere. And we're lucky they're our kids, because we're the parents that will walk through walls, that will sacrifice our own health for our children. We are the parents who will make sure that millions of parents to come don't ever have to feel the way we do right now. So I wanted to quickly say something about Annette. No, it's good. We've gone through this whole thing on the board recently that, like, when Annette speaks, it's amazing. But no one has a clue what she's talking about. And then when she breaks it down to real layman's terms, you just feel like an idiot. But What Annette has done, coming on as a new board member, is unbelievable. She's basically set up an opportunity, a factory, where millions of people can bring their drugs and have them tested all the way down to hopefully finding a cure for NF and then a cure for all rare diseases. This factory enables people to find a cure or enables people to get their drugs all the way to bedside table in more like 2 years than 10. It allows people to be able to get there with $2 million as opposed to $50 million plus. And CTF, along with the Gilbert Foundation, who are amazing with everything you've done, I truly believe we're in a position where for the first time ever, we can see a cure on the horizon. On top of that, what's super exciting is just the fact that you've almost started to create like a non-profit, quasi-biotech VC-ish, kind of, where people can come, and the really interesting thing is we can look for the most interesting individuals out there who've got the best ideas and actually be able to invest in them. So I want everybody to know about Annette. You are an icon. You're a legend. You are an amazing person. No one had a clue what she's been doing for the last decade, and now we understand. But she is someone you never take no for an answer. She always chooses the hard route, always, because it's the right route. And you said something yesterday at the board meeting, didn't you? You said, our children are your children. And that is unbelievable. So thank you. So the final thing that I'd love to say is that Michelle and I have a little foundation ourselves, and we have always been giving. We've never asked, and so it is very hard to stand up here and ask. But for the first time ever, I would love to ask everybody here for one thing, and that is for everybody to think of how much they were going to give tonight and double that number. I know, it's a lot. With something like neurofibromatosis, every single penny counts. And if you see the things which are lined up by Annette, she knows where every penny is going to go. So if tonight we made 4 million, not 2 million, we would cure this disease in half the time. So I'm just asking you, you know what, in 10 years' time, you are not going to look back and say, why did I give that money? You will save our child, your children, everyone's children. So all I would ask for you guys is please, please, please just consider, just for tonight, doubling whatever you were going to do. Thank you so much for everything. You are our community, and we love you all.
Thank you so much, Mark and Michelle, for those very incredibly inspiring words. And what an incredible incentive to give right now so that your donations to support research can go twice as far. Just to reiterate, you can text NNF to 24365. You can go to ctf.org/gala, or you can call 1-800-323-7938. Our next honorees, Jim Toms and the Toms family, are people who go above and beyond in their support for CTF. And for very good reason. Camille Toms, Jim's granddaughter, lives with NF2-related schwannomatosis, a difficult form of NF, and while she is an absolutely amazing fighter, she needs our help. The Toms family has given millions of dollars over the years to help end NF, but specifically Jim Toms provided $500,000 in seed funding for the NF2 Accelerator, a $3.2 million campaign to help expand the clinical drug and the new innovative drug testing models and develop gene therapies in NF2-related schwannomatosis. They also build incredible awareness in their communities through their annual Halloween bash, which I actually had the pleasure of attending. And without going into too much detail, it's a banger. It was remarkable to see how many people in their community turned out. I've been lucky to spend some time with the Toms family, and before we have Roland join us on stage to accept the award on behalf of his family, I'd like for us to watch a beautiful poem written and performed by Camille, who just couldn't join us tonight, but is at home watching. Take a look.
Sometimes I don't want to talk about it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I want to talk about it, but not with you. Sometimes my head screams, I just want to yell into the void. When things get all foggy and dizzied and I can't do the things I've enjoyed. No, sometimes it's better not to tell you, because I tell you too much. I worry you'll think I'm always suffering when I'm not. Do I want someone to see what it's like being me when I'm broken, weak, and down? I'm not always the positive person that I've built my facade around. I cry real tears, I spit fire from my tongue, yelling at something I can't see or someone. No, I'm not mad at anyone. My only grievance is this. Why the hell do I just struggle with this thing I can't fix? I can pop pills for days. I can have my body sliced into. I can distract myself from seeing what I don't want to see. Though then comes the weight that rests heavy on my shoulders. I have to look you in the eye and address you with a smolder. You have no right to make my life not seem like mine. Make me hide my pain from the world and pretend that I am fine. Sometimes you're too heavy to carry and look for some help without feeling like a burden or a victim for asking. The cruel fate is that this will never end, my relationship with you. But I'll be damned if you take away love, which is my biggest defense against you. And you won't. I won't let you. So my friends, my loves, I want you to know. Sometimes I don't want to talk about it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I want to talk about it, just not with you. Though that does not mean that I don't love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome to the stage Roland Toms to accept the CTF Humanitarian Award on behalf of the Toms family. And Nicole Toms.
I wish they could have played that poem after our speech. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jonathan. And also thank you to Mark and Michelle Oppenheimer on receiving the Humanitarian Award. And it just fills us with such optimism to hear about the people who have passion about what can be done to help alleviate the concerns of the people that live with NF, my daughter, your daughters, your sons. There's much we can do, and we need that type of passion. We do. On behalf of my wife, Nicole, And on my father, Jim, and my daughter, Camille, who you've now met, we're honored to receive this humanitarian award. Thank you, Children's Tumor Foundation. Our daughter Camille was diagnosed with neurofibromatosis type 2 19 years ago when she had a brain tumor surgery at the age of 7. Since then, she has been through countless physical and mental challenges. She's been a warrior, enduring the effects of NF. Camille, you are our hero. We see you. Camille, we see you. Annette talked a little bit about team, and I'll touch on that in a second. But as I look around this room, you know the struggle. NF affects every person differently, and yet there is a common bond. Camille's journey is different than yours, but what's similar is the journey. What's next? How will I cope? And every hero needs support. They need a great team in their corner. 18 years ago, fresh off of Camille's surgery, Nicole and I held our first Halloween bash, a Halloween party to celebrate Camille's life. It soon turned into a fundraiser, and our team has been fortunate enough with tremendous support to be able to raise close to $2 million for neurofibromatosis research. The MVP of our team has and always has been my father, Jim Toms. Every year, my father has matched our annual donation, and for that I am forever grateful. Now at the age of 81, he faces his own health battle. Dad, you don't face this alone. We are your team, your family, and your friends. Dad, you have always been my hero. And to the friends and family who have supported us over the years through their donations and attendance to our Halloween bash, Nicole and I appreciate you being on Camille's team. Camille felt such love and warmth this year as we celebrated her. And I would like to see our NF family here in this room and abroad watching grow together more as a team, as no one really knows what the next steps are in our journey. We need better navigation. And that benefit will come with a greater connection within the NF community. And Nicole and I look forward to supporting that endeavor, because shared pain is half the pain, and shared joy is twice the joy. So, celebrate life, and let's celebrate our NF heroes. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I just want to, the poem, was it not absolutely beautiful and amazing? That wasn't on my script, but I did want to say when I was sitting back there, it was just so heartfelt, and just everything that we go through as NF. So tonight I want to say good evening. And I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone present tonight. As the 2023 Children's Tumor Foundation National Ambassador, I want to express my sincere appreciation for your support. My family's steadfast encouragement has been instrumental in making it all possible. I am grateful to have my mother here tonight. And Mom, I want to express my love and my appreciation for all the support that you have provided. If you knew my mother, you would know how amazing she is. And what she has gone through with me is just, she is my rock. So I want to say thank you, Mom. I also want to say thank you to my sisters in Christ for their unwavering support and their prayers throughout the year, acting as a source of strength and encouragement, just like Aaron and Her did by lifting up my arms. They have lifted up my arms. I also want to say to my husband, John, who is unable to be here tonight, I want to express my deep love and appreciation for everything he has done for me. His unwavering support has been absolutely amazing. To my friends who are here with me tonight and those that are watching on teleprompt or TV, I want to say thank you. I also want to say thank you to each and every single one of you for being part of this journey. Our goal in 2023 was to raise awareness for the Children's Tumor Foundation and for neurofibromatosis, and to think outside the box. And I am proud to say that I feel we have succeeded. One outstanding example of our commitment is Paul Laurie, who is with us tonight, and I would like to introduce him. Paul, please stand. Paul Laurie, alongside Matt, Marina, and Iris, they embarked on a 38-day journey across the Pacific Ocean, all while wrapped in the support of the Children's Tumor Foundation, raising $54,000 for NF. But I will tell you, our effort does not end there. On December the 16th, weather permitting, Paul Laurie and I, along with two others, will continue to fight for NF by rowing 365 nautical miles in the ocean to continue to support the Children's Tumor Foundation. He might throw me out of the boat, so all of you better pray for me. Throughout this year, I have had the privilege of meeting remarkable NF fighters and their families. I want to extend my deepest gratitude and love for each and every one of you. This year has been bittersweet, filled with challenges and triumphs. But together we have made a difference. Let us continue to unite, raise awareness, and support the Children's Tumor Foundation in their crucial mission. I hope I have made you proud. However, as this chapter comes to an end, I must acknowledge that raising funds for NF research requires a collective effort. It takes a village. There are no I's, it's only we. It is with my great pleasure and honor that I present to you Kevin Martin, our esteemed 2024 National Ambassador for the Children's Tumor Foundation. Those familiar with Kevin are well aware of his remarkable resilience and unwavering determination, despite facing the challenges of both neurofibromatosis and dwarfism. He steadfastly refuses to let these conditions define him. Kevin's zest for life knows no bounds as he seizes every opportunity to explore the world and make a positive impact on the lives of those affected by NF. Following conversation with some of Kevin's close friends, I have gathered a few remarks they made about him. Jack, who has been friends with Kevin since their high school days, mentioned that their bond was forged throughout shared interest in video games and baseball. Jack finds Kevin's ability to overcome any health difficulty or obstacle truly inspiring. He has had the privilege of accompanying Kevin on numerous travels and has been consistently impressed by his unwavering determination to never allow anything to hinder his path. Jack has fearlessly witnessed Kevin maneuver his scooter through crowded subway cars, navigate his wheelchair across rickety wooden bridges to witness the U.S. Open, and the best that I heard, that he even ventured through rice fields in Japan at 4 a.m. in search of McDonald's. Kevin never shies away from embracing a good time, regardless of the challenges that he encounters, which others often take for granted. Jack also humorously mentioned that Kevin is the only Yankees fan he is willing to spend time with. So I am going to say to Kevin, go Red Sox. Oh, no. Connor, on the other hand, described Kevin as a resilient individual who refuses to let his NF impact his life. He always gives his utmost dedication to his friendships. Therefore, there is no doubt in anyone's mind that Kevin will wholeheartedly support the Children's Tumor Foundation, and it is undeniable that he will give nothing short of 110% as the national ambassador raising awareness for all of us. Together, we can support Kevin Martin in his role as the 2024 National Ambassador. I want to say this, my time as the 2023 National Ambassador was life-changing, and I will see that with Kevin as he continues to take this role and continues to support the Children's Tumor Foundation. So tonight, I want you to join me in celebrating his journey and watching his inspiring interview about living with NF. Thank you.
As a kid, I always knew I was different than other kids. I was shorter, I had a bigger head, I used a scooter from 5th grade, but it wasn't weird to me because it was all I've ever known.
I think the first sign of Kevin's NF was when he was just a few weeks old. He had cafe au lait spots. And then when he was about 2 years old, I got a call in my office from his pediatrician. And she starts talking to me about Kevin, about how his head seemed much larger. So she had decided to look into it further. And I said, what is it that you think he has? She said, neurofibromatosis.
I was diagnosed with NF when I was 2 years old, and I was actually diagnosed with dwarfism when I was 5 years old. Having NF is uncommon and dwarfism is uncommon, but having both was unheard of.
What I admire about Kevin is nothing has caused him to change his goals for the future.
I do a lot of video editing, which is fun. It's kind of like putting together a puzzle, just finding all the right parts and how it flows, and it's cool seeing everything you put together.
Kevin has a lot of personal strength, and the ability for him to do certain things with us that normally his disability would prevent?
He knows that he is different, but he's never let that veer him off course from who he is and who he wants to be.
I have scans every year. Usually every year it comes back where it says everything's stable, there's nothing to worry about, there's probably some small growth, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. But just recently in the results it said my largest tumor, which stretches from my cheek down to my lung, was growing rapidly, and that was probably the scariest experience of my life because you don't know what the results are going to be. One thing I would say to patients with NF is you have to live life to the fullest. I love to travel. Just recently I got back from a trip to Japan with me and all my friends. That was a trip of a lifetime. When you're traveling with a disability, it's hard, but having everyone there who understands me and what I have, it helps a lot. Just like I've always known about NF, I've always known about CTF. It's just been a part of me. My mom has been involved with CTF for many years. She's been on the board since then. She was chairperson for a couple years.
As a family, we've been very involved with a lot of CTF events. We've done a lot of fundraisers. We used to be very involved with Racing for Research.
We'd go down to Florida in Daytona and do the Rolex 24 race, and we'd have a couple cars who had our CTF logo on them, and they have the names of all the NF heroes on them. So as a kid, seeing your name on the side of a Porsche racing around Daytona was one of the coolest experiences ever. Meeting all the drivers, meeting all these amazing people who volunteer their time. Being the CTF ambassador is a real honor. Ever since I was a kid, going to all the galas, seeing all the ambassadors on stage, it's something that always seemed cool to me. And now being able to actually be the ambassador, I'm really excited for all the work I can do in this next year. It's looking bright for the future, but there's still a lot of work to be done with NF treatment.
Hello, and thank you all for being here tonight. I'm Kevin Martin, and I'm honored to be the 2024 CTF National Ambassador. Like most people with NF, I am the first in my family to have it. I was diagnosed when I was 2 years old, and even from such a young age, my parents never hid the fact that I had NF from me. If I asked them any questions, they answered them. Even through the tough questions, they were open and honest. Because of this, having NF is all I've ever known. It was always such a normal part of my life, while also being the biggest question mark in my life. Also, like everyone else with NF, you don't know what to expect on your next scan or doctor's appointment. And my latest scare happened a little over a year ago, when the scan revealed my largest tumor was growing, which is a sign it may have turned malignant. The weeks that followed leading up to my biopsy were some of the most stressful and anxious in my life. And my neurologist, Dr. Yohei, tried to reassure me by saying he was pretty confident it would turn out to be nothing. And credit to him, he was right. The biopsy came back negative, and the next scan showed that the growth has stopped. I'm in the clear for now, but there's no knowing if or when my next scare might come. If having one rare disease wasn't enough, when I was 5 years old, I was also diagnosed with a rare form of dwarfism. And to this day, I'm one of only about a dozen people on Earth known to have both NF and dwarfism. I've gotten to know people in both the NF and dwarfism communities, but dwarfism isn't something you're trying to cure or could threaten my life, so my bigger focus has always been on NF. So growing up with rare diseases as a child is difficult, but I always look forward to CTF events every year. My favorite was Racing for Research, where cars wrapped in the CTF logo and covered in the names of NF heroes raced for 24 hours straight at Daytona. Now, almost 20 years later, I am proudly serving as a member of the junior board with many of the friends I've made at Racing for Research, and we're following in the footsteps of some of the amazing leaders we've heard from tonight. The time is now to take action, because a cure has never been closer. And with your help tonight, we could finally end NF. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Kevin. Kevin is a powerhouse, to be sure, but that doesn't mean he has to go at it alone. We all have to work together to help end NF. So join us, join Kevin, join Mark and Michelle Oppenheimer and the Toms family, and help us fund the research that can bring a cure to NF. You can text END NF to 24365, go to ctf.org/gala, or the old-fashioned way, pick up your phone and dial 1-800-323-7938. Now, we also have QR codes on everyone's programs, and if you need some assistance, we'll send a volunteer over to your table and help you make a donation. How does that sound? At this point, I would like to invite everybody to take a 30-minute break. So come out, get some food, have a couple more drinks. And I want to thank one of my close friends. If you have not seen him yet, Andy Gershenson is here performing magic for everybody out of the kindness of his heart. So a big hand for Andy. If you haven't seen him, he just fooled Penn and Teller. I highly recommend going to see him. And so 30 minutes, and let's make some donations. Yes? All right.
NF makes me feel overwhelmed.
Anxious. Nervous.
Frustrated.
Living with NF makes me feel powerless.
Most of the time, it's a definite struggle.
NF makes me feel unique.
Living with NF makes me feel exhausted and unreliable.
Living with NF makes me feel like I can't accomplish my goals.
NF makes me feel scared.
Having NF makes me feel broken.
Even though living with NF has been a struggle, CTF has made me excited for the future.
CTF impacts my view on NF by showing me that I'm not alone in fighting to find a cure for neurofibromatosis.
CTF makes me feel strong and supported.
CTF impacts my view of NF because it gives me purpose.
CTF impacts my view on NF because I feel supported.
CTF impacts my view on NF because it gives my sister and my whole family a community of those with NF to gather around.
CTF brings me hope.
I see that the foundation cares about NF patients, their siblings, their parents, the whole million yards.
CTF impacts my view on NF because we're all working towards the same goal, to end NF.
CTF makes me feel supported.
CTF impacts my view on NF because my voice feels heard.
Because of the Children's Tumor Foundation, I feel like I can make a difference in the fight to end NF.
CTF makes me feel welcome.
Because of CTF, I feel like we are making a difference.
The Children's Tumor Foundation impacts my view on NF by allowing me to learn the stories from other people who have NF.
CTF impacts my views on NF because they never stop fighting, even when I'm too tired to.
CTF impacts my view on NF by giving me hope.
CTF impacts my view about NF because they make me feel empowered.
Children's Tumor Foundation is going to be tremendous hope for the future, and that there will be a cure and better treatment options for NF that are being discovered every day. Thank you.
I was on a volleyball team. We were all practicing one night and I fell to go for a dive and I hit my head and I got a concussion. So I had to get a routine MRI. They said, you don't only have one tumor, you have two. It was my 16th birthday.
I can remember us walking out and it was like surreal. And we were all just silent.
You know when they say like your world can just turn upside down in an instant? And that's pretty much what it was.
When I was told my diagnosis, the doctors came in and they were like, you're gonna go deaf in 2 years. That was devastating. Music was something I wanted to do as a career. I loved music growing up.
I would say life with McKinnon before she was diagnosed was kind of just lighthearted. It was kind of always laughing, joking around. We played a bunch of sports together and stuff. We were in the same friend groups.
McKinnon, pre-diagnosis, was the risk-taking fireball tornado of the family. And even after diagnosis, she is still the risk-taking fireball tornado of the family. But that serves her really well because she strives to live life on her own terms.
We are going to move on with our life and try to act like nothing's happening and make the most of it and stuff. But at the same time, we know this is a serious disease.
She has to fight for her life every day.
It's this chemo appointment, and then the chemo's not working, and then my kidneys are failing, and it's, oh, then my hearing's going out, and I went on, oh, and then you need brain surgery. The older I get, actually, the more scared I am because the more I understand how bad this can be.
One of the things I do worry about for McKinnon and everybody else is how do you stay positive as much as you do?
I realize how my life can be short. You know, I might not live to like my full extent of my life, but I hope to take the pain that I've been through and kind of turn it into something great. Being the CTF National Ambassador, it means everything to me. I want to represent everybody and their feelings and their pain and their incredible stories and the amazing people that they are. And I'm really excited to be able to share those stories and inspire others, hopefully.
In order to solve the NF2 puzzle, we all need to funnel and work together to do the science that we need to get better treatments and ultimately a cure for NF.
We want to find a cure for it, and we're doing everything that we can to keep her healthy and get her back to normal.
I believe in my lifetime, we're going to come so much further to where there is a cure.
Leading to a cure means research, and research takes money. McKinnon she's the bravest person I know.
She has such a strong spirit.
I think she's a really great role model because she never gives up.
I admire her resiliency.
My name is McKinnon Galloway, and I am the Children's Tumor Foundation National Ambassador.
I always knew that I was different from other kids.
When Brianna was born, she had multiple spots all over her body, and her left arm was an entirely different color from the rest of her body.
I was diagnosed at 2 months old with neurofibromatosis, but I think it really hit me when I was 8 years old, and I went to a neurofibromatosis forum and spoke to a big group of doctors, and they explained that I was different. NF has taught me to be a more positive person.
Brianna, we always say she's like sunshine.
I've gone through horrific surgeries where they told me I probably wouldn't survive. They didn't think I'd make it over the age of 7, and I'm 22, graduating from college. And I think that if I'm positive and continue to advocate and help others, it gives me that drive and passion to keep on living and keep on fighting.
Brianna is truly the strongest person that I've ever known in my entire life. Everything that she's gone through has made her the person she is today, you know, the strong and kind-hearted person that she is today.
So you're all prepped, ready to go? I'm all prepped. Well, you're not really prepped, you're just gonna check.
She used to tell me when she was going in for a procedure, Mom, is it okay that I'm scared? And I would say, Brianna, it's not brave if you're not scared.
Why can't we do anything?
And she has that tattooed on her arm. And I think I was saying that more for me, but honestly, she is the bravest kid I know.
Singing has been One of my biggest passions, I've always sang since I was little. My mom jokes saying I sang before I could talk.
There was a time when they removed a tumor, the cancerous tumor, from her cervical spine. They had to go in through her throat, and in doing so, between the intubation and all of the swelling, her vocal fold was paralyzed.
They took the camera out and said, you might not be able to talk normal, swallow normal, and you definitely won't be able to sing. And they left.
When she lost her voice, she was absolutely devastated. She's an amazing singer.
And I just felt like my world came crashing down because I didn't want NF to define who I was, but I lost my voice. And yes, I love to sing, but my voice is also how I advocate for NF. Music and theater arts is extremely important to me. When I'm on stage, I get to be someone I'm not. So I'm not that girl who's sick. And for a moment, the pain of neurofibromatosis and my hard life is gone. My goal is to get my master's in drama theater, to use my background in psychology to help children or adults cope with various disabilities using theater arts. It's really important for me to help others with NF because I understand where they're coming from.
For us, the best part of CTF has been the networking and the meeting other families, for Brianna to know that she's not alone. The funding that goes behind the clinical trials is really through CTF. If it weren't for them, the clinical trial that Brianna is currently on, where would we be without that? So eternally grateful for CTF.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. When I found out I was the 2020 ambassador, I was very shocked, and I'm very excited to start this gala process for the Children's Tumor Foundation and the award I'm receiving. It's gonna be fun. I just got the dress. I'm so grateful for this award, but I don't need an award. Just seeing people smile and hearing you've helped me is the best award I could ever receive. I can't express the feeling I get knowing that I've helped somebody. It just makes my heart happy.
As far as I can remember, I've had NF.
I took her to the pediatrician when she was 9 months old, and the pediatrician just noticed something wasn't right about her palate. 18 months later, we found Bruce Core, who then said, I think she has NF.
I said, oh man, we've been going for 9 months trying to get a diagnosis. I really appreciate that. And that's when he said, there's no cure. It's certainly something that was not in the cards that we had planned out for our life, and certainly had never hoped for that for her life.
I'd have scans every 6 months to monitor my tumors, and I'd have doctor visits, but that was really about it.
For the first 16 years of her life, we watched as the tumors grew, and there was nothing really we could do. It was heartbreaking.
I joined the selumetinib clinical trial in 2016, being told you have this uncurable, nasty disease your entire life, and then suddenly being told that you're beating it. I can't even describe the feeling I had. I just remember crying.
Lillian is phenomenal.
She sets no limits to what she should be able to accomplish. She is a fighter, and she is a positive influence on us and her brothers and everybody around her.
My whole motivation is not letting NF define who I can be and who I want to be as a person. And if there are things that NF stops me from doing, I just move on. I say, okay, it's one little thing. Look at all the things I can do. So I've been involved with the Children's Tumor Foundation for a very long time.
The more we got to know about the foundation, the more we wanted to get involved with it. Cupid's Under Run in Orlando alone has raised over $500,000.
We've been to walks, we've been to forums, we've done Racing for Research, we've done Cupids, everything you could think of.
We knew we could have an impact. We knew there was hope, and we got involved.
I am going to be the 2021 National Ambassador for the Children's Tumor Foundation, and I couldn't be more excited to be that example for every individual and show them NF doesn't have to be this horrible thing. We're all strong and fighters, and we can do anything we put our minds to.
When Eddie was born, we knew he had glaucoma, and he had 3 surgeries in 4 months. One of his doctors came to us after the 4th month and said, "We think he might have neurofibromatosis."
I was diagnosed with NF type 1 when I was 4 months old, so I didn't really understand it until I was probably 7 or 8. So by then, I had already had multiple surgeries and had my left eye removed.
Basically, they've just debulked tumors throughout the 15 surgeries he's had. The major surgery, Eddie was cut from ear to ear over the top of his head. They peeled back the skin. They took out a piece of his skull, put bone paste in and metal mesh. Then they stitched him up. And one of my favorite stories was 5 days later, Eddie is jumping off the high dive into the pool, and I was concerned his stitches were gonna rupture. But he was fearless.
I don't really tend to think about on a day-to-day basis about me having NF. I just, live life as much as I can, I go skiing and hiking a lot. It hasn't really stopped me from doing much. I've done, I think, 13 half marathons and 1 marathon.
When he was younger, I was always afraid that other kids would pick on him or make fun of him or just kind of not understand some of the challenges he faces. So I was always just really anxious and worried for him, but he was fearless, and he also was a bit rebellious. Eddie was very, very stubborn as a little kid and didn't like hearing no.
Ready? So 10 miles today?
3 miles. No, you're not gonna bump me.
I don't think I ever really had a bully. People have definitely made fun of the way I looked before. It didn't really affect me too much because I had so many great friends that I just kind of ignored it. My only really struggles in school were academically. I was able to make friends pretty easily and played sports. My main sport was soccer. I played that pretty much my entire life. And then lacrosse I kind of picked up at school.
Eddie grew up with NF. It's all he ever knew. And so we just treated him like any other kid. He played sports, hockey, and soccer, and lacrosse. And that's really where he started running and started doing the half marathons and raising money for Children's Tumor Foundation with Ned.
My dad and I still run together a lot. When I'm back home, we'll take our dog and run her down to the beach. And my dad is still doing half marathons with me at 60.
One of Eddie's teachers coined the frame that Eddie's going to get to the finish line from a different angle. And I think that is very true. You just have to keep faith that you'll get there. Eddie has never once complained about it to us or asked us the question why, which I think is probably something that I would say that I've learned the most. Things happen, you just keep moving, which has kind of been his MO.
And then he went on and he graduated 4 years, got a scholarship at DU, graduated in finance in 4 years, and got a job on his own with no help from us.
Guys don't look too good, do they, Eddie?
Given everything that Eddie has gone through, I think it's really shaped our relationship as siblings, and it's a super special bond. Growing up, we've traveled the world together, and I'm really grateful to have a brother like Eddie. He's super sweet, kind, protective, really funny, and just really fun to be around.
Raising funds for the Children's Tumor Foundation has really meant a lot to me, and I hope one day that a bunch of leads are here and are at least more drugs that can help combat some of the difficulties that people with NF have to face. So when I found out that I was the 2022 CTF National Ambassador, I was very honored. I hope that young kids and parents of young kids with NF can look at me and see that even if you have NF, you can still accomplish a lot and go on to live a great life, you know.
I was not diagnosed with schwannomatosis until the age of 30. Around the age of 25, I started having issues with my left leg. It would go out from underneath me. Went to an orthopedic surgeon who at that time performed an MRI, and that's when they found my first tumor. When I was first diagnosed, I had no clue what it was. I was in shock. I was concerned. I didn't know what the future held at that time because I was told it was a rare genetic disorder. And not knowing how many tumors I had, what I was going to go through, what type of surgery, what type of procedures that the doctors were going to have to perform.
It made it much tougher for her, there's no doubt. When you go through pain like she went through and is still going through, it's got to affect your life in all sorts of ways. And the saying, she is a fighter, she is. I mean, she's fought through a lot of pain and a lot of struggles, but she's still great.
She is passionate as anybody I've ever met. She cares about everybody she runs into who may have this disease, and that never give up attitude that she has, I think helps carry her a long ways with the difficulty she's dealing with.
I think it has inspired her to be more passionate about her life, about helping others, and being involved in the Children's Tumor Foundation. It's actually increased her awareness of suffering of other people.
To me, you have to look at a positive and the negative. And this genetic disorder is a negative, especially on the small children. But it's given me the opportunity to just really sit down with some of the younger individuals and say, hey, you are a fighter. You've got this. You can do this. And I am here to walk beside you and with you on this journey. My involvement with the NF Endurance team is because I am an active runner and because I'm very active in sports, I want to be able to put CTF's name out there and for people to say to me, what is the Children's Tumor Foundation? What is neurofibromatosis? I've had some amazing opportunities, like when I ran the Nashville half marathon, people coming up to me and asking me those questions, or meeting other individuals who are running for someone that has neurofibromatosis.
In so many ways, Michelle has impacted my life, and I see her impacting so many others' lives. And I can't think of anybody to be a better ambassador for this disorder. Knowledge is power, and we need to get the knowledge of NF out to the world. And she's the one that's going to make this happen because she cares so much about other people.
Being the CTF National Ambassador, I'm honored to be able to tell my story, and not just my story, but to tell the kids' stories. I am here to fight for you and with you, to raise as much awareness and as many funds as we can to support our cause. And that's something that I am very, very passionate about.
Jeff wants to be defined by generosity, not as the kid down the street with a brain tumor.
Jeff was never one to take the pity path and be tearful about his own medical problems. He always was looking to helping other people with visual problems and became interested in generating money for research for optic nerve tumors and neurofibromatosis.
At the age of 13, Jeff did an amazing thing. He had this overwhelming desire to want to give back.
In order to understand how Jeff sees through his sore eyes, we look at his art. An optic nerve tumor damaged his vision. We say he sees the world through Swiss cheese. We really don't know how he sees the world, except we see the art he creates, and that gives us a window into his world. He calls it a sight for sore eyes. The tumor, we believe, has been killed, and it's not causing further loss of vision. In fact, Jeff's vision has improved.
When Jeff was in chemotherapy, we were seeking an activity that would bring joy to our house, and we purchased watercolor paints, and Jeff started painting watercolor note cards. Hal and I soon discovered that, wow, he really has a gift for color and art.
I believe that Jeff subconsciously paints in a certain style that he never thinks about. His low vision drives him to choose high contrasting, bright colors, anything he can put on the canvas to create a more three-dimensional effect. So his whole style is driven because of his low vision.
His giving back started at a glorified lemonade stand, Jeff's Bistro, at the foot of our driveway, and watching him do this event and raising money for the Children's Tumor Foundation, Jeff's giving didn't quit. It just accelerated to many different projects that he has done for different charities. And I truly believe that he's learned generosity begets generosity, and the joy that can be found in helping those that are less fortunate than you. We hear time and time and day after day what an inspiration he is, and I'm his mom. I'm so close to it. How could that be? Well, it's others realizing and hearing his story that they too can take that adversity and put a spin on it in the most beautiful way to find happiness in their lives.
Everyone, please stand by. Our program will resume in 5 minutes. Everyone, please stand by. Our program will resume momentarily.
Hello, everybody. It's me. I am so excited for the second half of our evening because we are getting closer to our big auction. But you do not have to wait for the auction to give. As I've mentioned many times, it's very easy to do. You can even do it multiple times. And remember, every dollar gets us closer to meeting our goal tonight, which is $2 million towards our goal to end NF. You can text end NF to 24365. Go to ctf.org/gala. Thank you for that, by the way, I heard it. Text NNF to 24365. Go to ctf.org/gala, or you can call 1-800-323-7938. Remember, there's also a QR code on every program, and we've got volunteers in the room to help you out if you have any questions. We're going to welcome back CTF President Annette Bacher, along with Board Chair Gabe Groisman, to present a special tribute and our final award of the evening.
Good evening, everybody. If I could have your attention, as this is really the climax of our evening. There are a lot of people all over the world who do a lot for our kids and our families and our friends that have neurofibromatosis. But tonight we're here to honor the family that has done more than any other family really on the planet for neurofibromatosis, the Gilbert family. And with that, we want to honor the legacy and the life of their son and brother, Nick Gilbert, may his memory be a blessing, who the family fought for so many years. And it's really the greatest honor as an NF dad, the dad of a beautiful girl, 11-year-old girl with NF1, that a family that's that dedicated is still pushing on and continuing their fight and really upping the ante, because they believe in the cause and they know how important it is to fight NF, to end NF for all of our families. So from a real personal place, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And here we are tonight, handing out the last Cloud Carrier Award to no one less than the Gilbert family, in memory of Nick, who we all will miss forever. Giacomo Del Giudice, a good friend, has gifted us again his unique pieces of art that are called cloud carriers. The cloud carriers are long figures collecting clouds of dreams in the cup of the universe. And these cups are composed of concentric circles, and every circle is a person. Giacomo says, clouds speak the same language everywhere in the world. They prompt emotions and fantasies. They are transformed step by step, sometimes to something so beautiful. In the cup of the universe, a figure tall. Nick Gilbert, the cloud carrier we recall. Son of Dan and Jennifer, his spirit soars in the realm of dreams where inspiration pours. Our cloud of dreams, a chorus we sing. They give us strength on hope's ethereal wing. In the blizzards of life, a comforting embrace, warmth in the cold, a guiding grace. To see in the dark, where shadows may lie, overcoming fear as the clouds multiply. Nick, the cloud carrier, forever inspires in the symphony of dreams where hope never tires. Thank you so much.
No, there is nothing to like about NF, nor the things that can happen to people who have NF. No, there is nothing to like about NF, nor the things that can happen to people who have NF. I don't have to like NF, but I don't have to be a victim just because I have NF. I did not choose to live with NF, but I do choose on how I live. And I choose to live life by enjoying every moment and to always look at the bright side of everything. And I am lucky to have many people like you that are here tonight to support CTF in the fight against NF. I can't tell you how much that means to me and all the other adults and kids who were born of NF. The Children's Tumor Foundation is doing some great things both on the research and support sides of NF. But they could not do it if generous people like you did not support them in the way that you do. So thank you all again for your amazing contributions and for coming tonight and for allowing me to be the 2011 NF Ambassador. What's not to like about all that?
Good evening. I'm Dan Gilbert. With me here tonight is my wife, Jennifer Gilbert, also my boss. And Nick's three brothers, Grant, AJ, and Nash, and his one sister, and only sister, and my favorite daughter, my only daughter, Gracie. We're all here. What you saw there was Nick about 12 years ago, if not more, here in New York, accepting one of those awards that you're giving out here tonight. I want you to know before I get started here, no English accent, no Southern accent, no beautiful poems, none of that stuff, but just a man from Detroit, Michigan, here in New York, okay? I do want to thank some other people here first. Annette and Gabe and the whole CTF board and all the people who work for CTF here. I mean, we just cannot thank you enough for your dedication to get rid of this nasty disease, and that's what it is. Here from the Gilbert Foundation, also in Detroit, is Laura Granneman, Ivan, and their team. So now I go to the teleprompter, so anything can happen here. Nick was more than just our son, he was our hero. He was born with NF1, and throughout his life, he endured several brain surgeries, years of chemotherapy and radiation, and setbacks from this disease, including nearly complete loss of his vision. However, as you saw in the video, Nick never once let that dampen his love of life and his love of the people around him. To know Nicholas was to be his friend and to share his excitement for living every day to its fullest. And hearing the stories today from some of the parents and some of the victims of this disease, you get the same feeling that, you know, we go on and we just keep going. And that's what we're going to do. And we are dedicated 100% to eradicating this disease off the planet. Not only in my son's name, but in all the other fallen heroes and the ones who have it today. Our son had a lot of things that he loved, but on top of that list was his macaroni and cheese. And that was not just his favorite food, but his passion. He ate it every chance he got. If he were here today, and he's probably looking on at us right now, I guarantee the kitchen would be whipping up a batch right now for everybody. So he was a character. One other quick story. Before one of his surgeries, the doctor went through the whole process with him and what's going to happen. He said, "Do you have any questions?" And Nick looked straight in the eye of this 65-year-old Scottish, internationally acclaimed brain surgeon and said, "Just one. Can I go now?" And by the way, do you guys have any macaroni downstairs? So he was really serious about it. Just wanted you to know. Supporting the NF community will ensure, if we all today step it up here and across the country, it'll ensure that millions of people worldwide who have seen this disease will feel seen and be represented. And Nicholas was the same way. Whether he was standing up here giving a speech or wearing one of his signature bow ties at the NBA draft lottery or doing media interviews about NF, Nick never wanted anyone in the community to feel like they were at it alone. And a couple people came up and told me stories about how they knew Nick just for a period of time. And he always had a story with him. He loved everybody, and he, more than anything, he wanted to eradicate this disease. And so now he leaves it in all of our hands. And like one of the gentlemen said up here, double what you're going to give. I can even go further than that. You can triple it. And I agree wholeheartedly, 5 or 10 years from now, or even later than that, when you're leaving this earth, you're not going to look back and say, "Man, am I sorry I doubled or tripled my gift that night." You're going to feel good about it. But a friend of mine always said, "Give until it hurts." And so we ask you tonight to dig deep, because you can see the effects of this disease, what it does to people and their families. It's just a horrendous disease that we can cure it. And as Annette told us, I was shocked to hear, I didn't even know myself, that there were 67 clinical trials going on. So we are getting close. And there's some people looking at alternative things too. So it's the regular medicine and alternative medicine as well. And I think CTF is overturning every rock to find the cure. So with your help, hopefully we will get closer and closer. And when Annette stands up here about 5 years more from now, we'll all be 5 years older, but hopefully NF cure will be much closer. So thank you all here tonight. Appreciate it.
Hey, before he sits. We'll just hold it. Dan, if you could look forward.
You want me to look? Is there a picture? I did miss one thing I'm going to just mention. In honor of Nick, my wife and myself and the Gilbert Foundation have funded something called the Nick Gilbert Neurofibromatosis Research Center, which will be in Detroit also. Feel free to visit us there, but it'll be the only facility worldwide that we know about that is dedicated solely to the research of NF and ending it. So in partnership with the foundation and CTF, we do research in my son's name and others' name to eradicate this disease. So thank you all and have a great night.
I'm up.
Good luck. I love you.
I'm out.
Guys, one more time, let's hear it for Mr. Dan Gilbert and his whole family. My name is Gabe Groisman, and I'm honored to serve as the chair of the board of this incredible, incredible organization. We had an incredible meeting yesterday, and I left and I told my wife, I don't know what I did wrong or right, but it's such an empowering feeling as a dad of a beautiful girl with NF1 to be involved with this incredible organization. And I hope you feel that power here tonight. I want to tell you the stories of a few people, because I think that us non-scientists when we hear everything that's happening, clinical trials and platform trials and phase 1, 2, and 3, we have no idea what they're talking about. And it's hard to lose the forest for the trees. And the trees are beautiful lives, beautiful stories. And while we talk about ending NF many, many years from now, hopefully 5 to 6, 7, 10, 20, whatever it takes, I want you, every single person here, to understand, I woke up this morning thinking about the fact that we are helping thousands, if not millions of people every single day with the work we're doing now. So first, I have some notes only on the first part of my discussion because I want to be respectful of the stories I want to tell you. So I'm sorry if I'm looking at that. But first, I want to tell you the story of a little boy named Caden from New York City. I'll leave their last names out for privacy. When Caden was 3 years old, he was diagnosed with NF1 because they found optic pathway gliomas in both eyes, tumors in his optic nerves. So by the time he was 5, they put him on chemo. 58 weeks of chemotherapy. Every single Friday, this little boy with his parents went for the entire day to get chemotherapy, 58 weeks. The doctor said he would likely lose his right eye. 2 years later, though, he started another round of chemo. This time, included in the chemo was a MEK inhibitor. You've heard us talk about this. A MEK inhibitor is a protein that if we can inhibit, we found through money that was, research that was funded by CTF in 2009, that can actually stop the growth of some of these tumors. And after, yes, a difficult 2 years of this treatment, the tumors stopped growing entirely. And the tumors on his skin, he had over 20 tumors on his skin, dermal tumors, dermal neurofibromas, disappeared entirely. And today, he's 11 years old, in 6th grade, he's playing basketball and soccer and baseball, and he has basically perfect vision. And that's the story of Caden. Next, I want to share with you a story of a little boy named Brian. When Brian was young, he found out he had NF2. And he found out because he had a tumor growing into his spine that was actually bending his spine. He went in for a large surgery, a big surgery, and they were able to remove that tumor, but they did find that his spine was full of other tumors. And that's when they diagnosed him with NF2. And Brian's had a series of surgeries to remove tumors from his hand and his wrists and his eyelids. And he keeps fighting and fighting. And then he was able to get on a trial of a new medication. I'm going to say it wrong. I'm sorry for all the scientists, but it starts with a B. That's how I remember it. Brian B. Bregomentiv, or something close to it. And the tumor stopped growing. And today, Brigatinib. Someone said that. Yes, you got it. I speak with no notes, so I'm going to get some things wrong, but I'm speaking from my heart. I hope you can feel it. And today, Brian is a sophomore at Syracuse University, where he's studying political science and economics, and he's doing amazing. But now let's travel from the coast of this country and let's go to Alabama and hear about Philip. People who have been involved in CTF know Philip's story. When Philip was young, he started getting a tumor, a plexiform neurofibroma, one of the most difficult tumors that come out of NF, on his neck. And it was obstructing his airway, or getting dangerously close to obstruct his airway. When he was 6 years old, he underwent a very serious surgery, and they were able to remove the entire tumor. But within 6 months, the tumor came back, and it was twice the size. So then, Philip went on Koselugo. Koselugo is a drug that our foundation was involved with from the beginning. It got approved by the FDA with so many partners, by the way. When I say we, it's so many people here in this room. And that tumor didn't just stop growing. It reduced over 60% where it's been for the last 5 years. He went from having a tumor on the side of his neck that was roughly the size of his head to having a tumor that's invisible to the naked eye. And let me tell you why he can't be here tonight. I thought that was exciting when I spoke to his mom. He can't be here because, first of all, he's an honor student. He's a senior in high school. He's an Eagle Scout, okay? And he's applying to college, and his applications are due on Sunday. So his mom said he needed to stay. She said she's not even allowed to leave his room until he applies. And when I was thinking about these stories in the morning, look, I wish we had stories where I can tell you stories about different names, different people where we did something and now they don't have NF yet anymore. We're not there yet. We're working our tails off to get there. But it's important to know that what you guys do today, what we all do, whether it's donating money, and yes, we're going to talk a lot about that, whether it's partnering with us, whether it's working with your organizations, whether it's presenting new biotech opportunities, whatever it is, the more you do, the faster we're going to end NF. And the more you give, the faster we're going to end NF. And these are stories that are affecting people today. But there's one last story I want to tell you about my daughter. I don't speak about my daughter publicly often. And I'm sorry, I'm emotional from that video. The video, I'm sorry, in particular, of your daughter saying a poem. And I just think of my 11-year-old daughter, and I think she must think exactly the same. My daughter, Allie, is the coolest girl you'll ever meet in your life. She's 11 years old, she's spunky, she's smart. She's done physical therapy her whole life, occupational therapy, she doesn't stop. She's had countless MRIs. We've had ups and downs, but many more ups than downs. And we all learn from her every day what it is to be a fighter and what it is to smile and to keep fighting, and we fight for her. But let me tell you about the foundation. I can do that more easily. The things that we're doing today in this foundation are unbelievable. When I started here 10 years ago, I did not understand a word of what was coming out of anyone's mouth because we were researching basic sciences. We were trying to figure out where this gene was. We were trying to figure out how can we make tumors stop. I studied philosophy and law. I have no idea any of those things, but I knew I had to be here to continue to fight. What's happened from then till now is unbelievable. I said it last year. I said, 5 years ago we had no companies, private companies that saw a value proposition and even trying to make money. And I'm a capitalist. Let's get people that want to make money and help them make money with NF. Today we have 10 companies that are searching for a cure for NF or a treatment for NF, and they want to make money on it, and we're here to help them. And when I say we're here to help them, we're investing in the companies. We took a huge turn in CTF, and Mark mentioned it earlier, where we're almost like a VC firm. When there's an opportunity and there's a little bit of funding that's needed, we're going to put the money down. And we've done it for one company. We gave $1 million. We're about to do it for another company. And we have 3 companies right now that are in phase 3. They're pushing forward. There's things that are happening. And that's what we do at this foundation. So I'm just going to boil it down in a simple way to the who, what, when, where, why. So who? We're fighting for our kids with NF. We're fighting for kids and people with NF all over the world. NF1, NF2, schwannomatosis. That's what we're doing. That's the who. And who are we? We're scientists. We're doctors. We're biotech companies. We're pharma. We're donors. If you come to our NF conference, we had one in Arizona this year, you'll be blown away. All of the pieces are there. We've spent the last 45 years building the infrastructure, building the train tracks, and now we're building trains and we're going at 100 miles an hour. Where? We're everywhere. We are absolutely everywhere. We fund research anywhere in the world. We have research projects funded right now in Australia. We have research projects funded in Asia, in Europe, in South America, all over these United States. Wherever the best research is, we're going to fund it. And again, going back to that conference, we had people, when I say people, we had researchers from every continent on the planet, yes, except Antarctica, but in every single other continent, they were there. And they were fighting for a position there because they wanted to present their best research of what they're doing, not just to their colleagues, but to the pharmaceutical companies in the room, to the biotech companies in the room, to the investors in the room. And that's what we've created, and that's why the time is now. Next, when is going to go last? How? How we've spoken about a lot. We've created this infrastructure that allows us to take an idea for a drug, and instead of making it take 8 to 10 years, that can happen if everything clicks within 2 years. We've set up the infrastructure, we give them the patients, we give them the tissue. We have the biggest registry of NF patients in the world, where the patients themselves can find the treatments that are coming, and the treaters, the clinicians, can look at the data of the symptoms that these over 11,000 patients have submitted in the registry and growing, and we can do that together. And like I said, we're investing in private sector, and we're working with universities, and we're doing co-funding opportunities with sports teams, and anything we can do. And anything that you all think about, we'll include it in the how. Why? Because we have to. We have no other choice. You know, we have a lot of options in how we spend our time. There's a lot of difficult problems in this world, but rare disease is one of the big ones. And sometimes with rare disease, it feels like you can't get your arms around it. It's too much. But I'm here to tell you that you can get your arms around it and you can make a huge impact. So the when is absolutely now. Now is the time. We've been doing the work for so many years as a foundation with all of our partners, with so many people in the room here that have played pivotal roles without which we wouldn't be here today. But now is the time. The last ingredient we need, and I'm not embarrassed to say it, is money. The more money we can raise today, tomorrow, in the next months, the faster we can do it. Some years ago, a big donor came to us and said, what if I write you a $30 million check? What would you do with it? And our foundation didn't really have an answer. We knew the next step. We didn't know what would happen if we would get there. In the last 18 months, we've been working on a strategic plan that's been completed, it's implemented. Part of the strategic plan, first of all, was to focus on research, on finding cures, finding treatments. But another part of it is to be absolutely ready, down to the last penny, for any donation that we get. That we're ready to run at 100 or 1,000 miles an hour as fast as humanly possible with any donation that we can get from you. So I ask you, like you've been asked twice tonight, to do your best, to give everything you can. It's said by many sages that what you give will always come back to you many times over. You're never going to become poor from giving. I said that a couple years ago, and it's true. There's never been a person in history that donated too much and then had problems. If you donate, things will happen. We're a rare disease. We need your help. Thank you so much. I'm going to call out the auctioneer now, and I ask you to please continue to support and give with your heart every single day. Thank you so much.
All right, wow, I have to follow that. That's not an easy task. How about one more round of applause for Gabe? I want to thank you, Jonathan. I want to thank you, Gabe. It feels great to celebrate with so many of my favorite people another amazing year with the efforts to end NF. Just amazing. Also, if we could get the house lights a little brighter, I'm going to need to see these bidders here in a minute. Just a quick to Annette and to Gabe, you are beyond relentless. Both of them are beyond relentless. How about another round of applause? That's, wow. Mark, wow. Your passion for ending NF for your daughter and family is contagious, and I can feel that it's contagious here in the room tonight. Another round of applause for Mark. That was outstanding. Michelle, your words and more importantly, your actions are humbling to me and to all who know you and watch you in this journey. I am absolutely in awe of what you go through every single day, and you still manage to help others living with NF. And Kevin, you, like Michelle, are so inspiring. To see what you've already gone through and where you are today gives all of us hope. And of course, to the Gilbert family and fellow Michiganders, with you as partners with CTF in this fight, we know the end of NF is much closer than we could have ever imagined. Now, it's time for us to start our research auction, and before we do that, I'm going to need those house lights up nice and bright. And as you know, we live in the world of social media, and as you know at home too, watching us on the stream, we would like to get a photo of everyone holding that lucky bid paddle up all at once. So if you could dig those bid paddles out, our photographers and your auctioneer would like a picture of everyone holding that up all at once, and then Annette is going to start writing those numbers down. That is a beautiful sight. That right there looks like the end of NF. So let me explain to you how this is going to work. And if you're at home watching, we expect your help as well. In a moment, I'm going to ask for a straight donation. I'm going to start out at $500,000. That means anyone that can do $500,000 is going to hold their paddle up there, and I'm going to read that number off. And then I'm going to ask for $250, and all the way down to an amount for everyone. The deal is, if the amount I'm asking for is not your amount, that's okay. But the person sitting next to you may be thinking about it, and it's your rousing applause. It's just the encouragement they need. And if you're at home watching, we expect you to applaud and cheer us on as well, and we will feel it even though you're not in the room with us tonight. So our very first amount is for $500,000. With every $500,000 we do tonight, you'll help us fund the ability to identify drugs that will work with NF and test them in preclinical trials. So before I even get started and start asking for this $500,000 donation, how about we get some applause going? Let's go. Let's make some noise. Here we go. Now, who'll do $500,000? People do 500,000 where? I can't hear you. 500, there's 500. Oh, I thought he was bidding. Are you bidding at 500,000? There's one right there. Buyer number 210. Where's our microphone? Would you like to say a few words? We have a microphone. No, he's good. All right. Anyone else at 500,000? Let's keep that applause going. Here we go. Don't stop now. We're going to get this damn disease cured at $500,000 to be able to be 500,000. Who else is in at 500? All right. One more big round of applause right up there. Next up is our $250,000 amount. You'll be helping us support our efforts to put drugs into the platform trial for NF, which is huge. So for $250,000, and I still expect you at home to be applauding with us. Let's make some noise. Here we go. Who'll do $250? At $250,000, being able to be $250. I can't hear you. If you're not bidding, you're applauding. There's $250 right up front. Buyer number 436. Where's my microphone? Bring it right on over here. We've got another one, the same table, buyer number 161. Would you like to say a few words? No? Have we heard enough from the Silver Fox? We're good. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next up is our $100,000 amount. You'll be helping us fund a Young Investors Award, providing new researchers with the seed funding they need to get started. May just be the next big breakthrough, and for $100,000, you can help us do that. Here we go. Let's get the applause going. There's $100,000 right there. Buyer number 275. Bring my microphone over there. Who else is in at $100,000 to be able to 100? Don't be shy. It's okay. Rick, would you like to say a few words? How about a round of applause right there? He has just a couple of words to say here.
Okay, should I come up there? Oh, sorry. Well, I don't want to take much time. Erica's and my gift to the research auction is in honor of Jennifer and Dan, and as well in memory of their amazing son, Nick. When we all lost our beloved Nick, everyone could have understood had the Gilberts pulled back from the mission of trying to cure this disease. Not only didn't they pull back, they doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down, and more. Friday is the 20th yard-site of my late wife, Marcy, who died from complications of schwannomatosis. Years ago, I swore I'd be in this fight for life so that someday no one else would have to go through what we went through. What I did and what the Gilberts did is moving this ball forward so that we can get this thing done and end NF.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. Anyone else want to join him at 100,000? Here we go. At $100,000 to be able to 100. Keep that applause going. Don't stop now. Make some noise, New York City. Here we go. At $100,000 to be able to 100. All right. Next up is our $50,000 amount, and you'll help us fund our annual NF Summit for patients and their family members. So here we go. Make some noise for 50,000. Let's go. Who'll do 50,000 now to be able to be 50? There's one up front right here. At 50,000, big buyer number 102. At 50,000 now to be able to be 50. Who wants to join them? There's another one right there. Buyer number 52. Who else is in? Here's one right here. Buyer number 56. Who else is in at 50,000 now to be able to be 50? Anyone else at 50,000 now to be able to be 50? Would any of my other two bidders like to say something? We'll bring the mic over if you'd like to say anything. Anyone? You'd like right over there.
In honor of my daughter Rose, who's here tonight and has been an NF ambassador in the past, may you have a beautiful life and been here with so many families who have unfortunately lost their children. The moment is now. Give now, don't wait for tomorrow.
There you go. We have another one right over here.
Gee, I can't believe that my wife isn't speaking. So, as Dan Gilbert said, he's just a regular guy from Detroit, and we're just regular people from Boston. But our daughter, Stacy, has had the disorder for many years, and we're not going to stop, Leslie, correct?
Of course. So our daughter is 43 years old. We've been involved in the organization for 45 years, and we keep going, and we know that we will end NF.
Thank you.
How about one more round of applause for our Red Sox fans here in the house? Anyone else want to join them at 50? Anyone else? All right. You can applaud. That's okay. We're going to see if we can get another one at 50. Keep that applause going. Don't stop now. Anyone else want to join them at $50,000 to be able to be 50? All right. Now, we're at our $25,000 amount. You'll be helping us fund scholarships for our camp program, which is huge. To be at a camp where they understand and appreciate where you're coming from when you have an affliction like this. For $25,000, let's get the applause going. There we go. Buyer number 24, bidder number 251. Keep that applause going for buyer number 217. Bidder number 169. You can applaud. We have time. Buyer number 141. Bidder number 337. Keep that applause going. Don't stop now. Keep it going. $25,000 bid buyer number. Oh, they got a 141. Yes, we already wrote that down. She's getting a photo. Who else is in at $25,000? Keep it going. Don't stop. Let's get that going. Here we go. At $25,000 bid with 25. That is amazing. If there's any of our $25,000 donors that would like to say something, you are more than welcome. Go for it.
So our donation is in honor of our daughter, Penny, who passed away a year ago at the age of 16, a year ago last Friday. So this donation is for her and for all of your NF warriors and the NF warriors in this room. We will find a cure for NF.
Yes,
but
we
will
will.
Not be able to do it with all of you. So as we have all said tonight, donate, donate big, because the time is now.
There we go. Any other donors at 25 that would like to say something? All right, that's fantastic. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Is there one more? You got another one? Oh, that's awesome. Bring it on over there.
I just want to thank everyone for my grandson, Hunter, who's 19 years old, has had NF since he was 5, and he's doing well. Thank you.
There we go. Anyone else at the $25,000 amount? I know we had several of you, and I would love for you to share your story or share something if you'd like. All right. If not, don't worry, because we are on to our $10,000 amount. That helps us, it helps support the translation of the registry into 2 different languages, which is huge. If you can't understand it, you can't be part of it. So here we go for $10,000. Let's get that applause. Or excuse me, hold on. Before I do that, that is our $15,000 amount, not 10. So there we go. Hold on. This one is for $15,000. My bad. Here we go. Let's get the applause going. Let's go. At $15,000 to be able to be 15. Who else is in? At $15,000, you can hold them up nice and high. Don't be shy. Now is the time. At $15,000 to be able to be $15,000 to be able to be 15. All right. Now is our $10,000 amount. It'll help us support travel scholarships for clinicians to attend an annual NF Science Conference each year. And the more they attend, the more they learn, the more they learn, the more they can cure it. And for $10,000, let's really make some noise. Here we go. Here's $10,000 right there. Buyer number 218. Buyer number 10. Keep that applause going for buyer number 388. Who else is in at $10,000? Buyer number 142. I can't hear you, New York City. Make some noise. And if you're at home, make some noise there too. At $10,000 to be able to be 10,000. Who else is in? At $10,000 to be able to be 10. One more time at 10,000. Wow. You are truly inspiring. This is amazing. Next up is our $5,000 amount. You can help us support an NF clinic to host a family education synopsis for the patients and for their families. And this is the $5,000 amount. So, Annette, it's going to be getting quieter in here because so many people are going to be bidding. I can feel it. But before we even ask, let's get that applause going. Let's make some noise. Who'll do $5,000? There's $5,000 right there. Buyer number 166. There's $5,000. Buyer number 226. Bidder number 399. Buyer number 334. You can keep that applause going for buyer number 434. Bidder number 437. Buyer number 258. Buyer number 260. Bidder number 448. I didn't say stop applauding. Buyer number 125. Bidder number 124. Buyer number 216. Is there anyone else at 5,000? Now is the time. All right. So here we go. Last but not least in our live portion of the event tonight is the $1,000 amount. And if we could get a full sweep of $1,000 tonight of every single person, we are going to make magic happen. And for 1,000, let's get that applause going. Here we go. Let's get it going. Who'll do 1,000? There's 1,000. There's 1,000. Oh, they're everywhere. Keep it going for $1,000 people to 1,000. Buyer number 288. He's in at 1,000. Buyer number 151. Bidder number 223. Keep it going. Buyer number 142. Their second amount of the night. Buyer number 274. Bidder number 105. Buyer number 214. Keep that going. Don't stop now. Buyer number 172. Bidder number 336. Buyer number 343. Buyer number 105. That a girl. You what? Buyer, hold on. Buyer number 107. Bidder number 257. Bidder number 129. Bidder number 422. This is $1,000 every time I read a number. Buyer number 132. Bidder number 220. Buyer number 344. buyer number 175. Bidder number 139. Buyer number 174. Buyer number 400. Bidder number 278. Bidder number 392. Buyer number 116. Bidder number 345. Buyer number 338. Bidder number 217. Buyer number 21. Anyone else at 1,000? Buyer number 303. You want to come up, Michelle? Come on up. Let's bring our outgoing ambassador up on stage. She has something to say here. Bigger a round of applause than that.
All right. Who drinks coffee? Okay. Coffee at a coffee shop costs you probably, and I've had it up, especially where I live, $7.38 a day. But if you're in New York, it's probably going to cost you about $10. So add that $10 by 365 days. What is that? I'm not a mathematician. 3,000. How much? You take your coffee for a year and put it in a container, and you have 3,000 and something dollars. So I expect every single hand to be raised for $1,000. Who's giving $1,000?
There we go. I like it. Who else wants to join her at 1,000? There's one there. Buyer number 274. It's just coffee money. That's all it is. Who else is in at 1,000? Anyone else? There we go. Buyer number 306. Buyer number 217 again. Anyone else at 1,000? Wow. How about there we go. Buyer number 175. Another one for buyer 274. Anyone else? All right, there we go. Buyer number 448. I see him going, honey, it's coffee money. All right. Just a quick reminder for those of you at home, or for those of you that I didn't ask for your amount, if you wanted to put in that million, I apologize for that. But you can scan the QR code that's on your brochures, and I'm sure they'll put it up on the screen here a little later on. If you're at home, remember, you can text ENDNF, that is ENDNF, to 24365, or you can call us at 800-323-7938, and together, we're going to end this disease. Thank you so much. One more round of applause for all the donors, all the bidders tonight. You guys are amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was awesome. What an unbelievable show of support once again this year from this amazing NF community. I think that may have been the most dramatic auction yet. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little excited, and you guys made some good social media content for me, so thank you. And don't forget, you can still make a donation to help us reach our goal of $2 million this evening. It is very easy, just like Chris said. You can text NNF to 24365, go to ctf.org/gala, or call 1-800-323-7938. Now, as we wrap up, I would like to say thank you again from tonight's donors in the room and around the world in our virtual audience. We could not do this without you, sincerely. Thank you all for being with us tonight, live from New York City. I feel like I'm on Saturday Night Live, live from New York. It's been an honor to share this special event with everyone. Now I'm going to pass it off to the CTF's National Gala co-chairs, Liz Rodbell, Clara Wilpon, Tila Falick Levi, and Erica Harmon Horvitz for one final important announcement.
Y'all out here. Come on. Wow, that was amazing. Well,
while we're at the end, we were at the beginning. I want you to meet our team. We are the co-chairs of this evening. I'm Liz Rodbell. I'm co-chair of the event as well as vice chair of the foundation. And I want you to meet Erica Hartman-Horvitz, yay, Clara Wilpon, and Tila Levi. We have worked tirelessly for this event, and it couldn't have gone off better. We want to thank you so much for this celebration. And I'd like to really say something special about Annette and Gabe. Thank you so much for your leadership. It has really taken us to the next level. I also want to thank the honorees tonight, and I know we've done it many times already, but recognizing Mark and Michelle Oppenheimer, the Toms family, Kevin Martin, and the Gilbert Family Foundation in honor of Nick Gilbert. Thank you so much for being here. You inspire us all to do more, dream more, and be more. Together, we will fulfill our vision of more treatments and a world without NF. I'd also like to recognize all the patients that are here in this room. And I'd ask each of you to stand up as we make a toast to each of you. I know there are many also on our screens at home, so this is also for you. Please stand up and come on, I see a few of you. NF heroes, come on. You are the reason why we're here. You are our driving force. You are our why. Oh, here we go. Thank you so much. I'd also like to say, here we go, girls. Come on.
Cheers to the heroes.
Cheers to the heroes. Incredible. I am so excited to be able to share with you how much we have raised. You heard 2 million was our goal. You heard double down and raise more, dig deep into your pockets. Well, we have raised $2.72 million this evening. Boom. That's it. We couldn't have done it with all you wonderful donors. We are going to end up together. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and we're going to keep it going.
Thank you, Liz.
What an amazing night. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, $2.72 million. This has been an absolutely incredible night. We have heard from so many NF heroes and seen inspiring stories of fighters and families. And we are lucky to be able to come together like this to help end NF. Not to mention, we raised a boatload of cash. So thank you. On behalf of myself and all of the friends and family of the Children's Tumor Foundation, thank you sincerely for making tonight wildly successful. I loved being here with you, and I will see you all soon. Have a great night.